Hey everybody, the Oakland Raiders really had a preseason game that, even though it was the first one, should be marked as the one where they turned the corner. Now, I'm very much aware of what I'm saying and the fact that, hey, if they have a lousy season, this vlog is going to come back to haunt me. But I'll say this right here. It's fair to assume the Raiders will do no worse than 8-8. You should expect a 9-7 season at, I would say, that's the most likely outcome. 10-6, a playoff berth, wild card, definitely. But regardless, the bottom line is this Raiders team has really turned the corner. It's a team so rich in depth that it is at the point where almost it's plug and play. And I say that with the running backs in mind. Consider that the star of the game against the Arizona Cardinals was George Atkinson Jr. That's right, the son of the great George Atkinson, the great safety of the Oakland Raiders during the 70s, in front of mine. George Atkinson Jr. had 97 yards on just 5 carries with 2 touchdowns, a 34-yarder and a 53-yarder. He showed that great combination of speed, power, and vision that the Raiders have wanted in a back for quite some time. But he wasn't the only great runner. There was Devon Washington from Texas Tech, the Raiders' fourth-round draft pick, who had the number 33. Last year, I criticized the Raiders for not holding on to the great Alabama running back, the who Trenton Richardson, who was originally drafted by the Cleveland Browns. In fact, he was the third pick in the first round of the 2010 NFL Draft. I excoriated the Raiders and Jack Del Rio for not holding on to Richardson, for putting him in plays that didn't give him a chance. But what Del Rio and Bill Musgrave were trying to say in giving Washington the same number and having him run essentially the same plays with some slight blocking differences, like full blocking here and there, and of course, uh, under really the same conditions in terms of down and distance, team, the Cardinals, and formations and handoffs. Basically, what they were saying was this: we want a running back that we can give and have run up the middle, a line buck between not just the tackles, but the guards, between the guards, and gain yards for us. Hit that hole very quickly and move forward. The difference between Richardson and Washington is that Washington has that quickness that allows him to hit that interior hole faster than Richardson. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Richardson was a great off tackle back, the kind that can go between the guard and the tackle or outside the tackle and then push his way past the first defender to give you between a yard and 5 yards. That's Richardson. But the bottom line is the Raiders really weren't looking for that kind of guy. They really were looking for a Washington, and they found him. If it wasn't Washington, it was Latavius Murray. And we all know what Latavius Murray is capable of, particularly catching screens out of the backfield with his combination of size and speed. So the Raiders are really, not just, those are 3 of the 5 that played tonight. The Raiders are really, for the first time, well stocked at running back. Then, of course, we've got quarterback, Derek Carr, Matt McGloin, and Connor Cook, who was 7 for 11. Derek Carr was 3 of 7. Once again, we have a situation where Derek Carr, percentage-wise, didn't perform as well as his counterparts. We know he's going to be the starter. But I'm going to say this. Connor Cook is going to push Matt McGloin and Derek Carr and really make this a quarterback race by the end of preseason. No, I'm not going to say he's starting, but I'm saying that he's going to give Raider fans something to talk about. And then, of course, there's that fantastic defense with its great acquisitions like Smith and Irwin, and it's young guys like Mario Edwards, who got injured but will be back. And, of course, the incomparable Khalil Mack. That defense is at near championship form already. So you would say, why am I not picking the Raiders to win right off the bat? They haven't shown that defensive quickness that was the hallmark of the 2000 Baltimore Ravens. That's not there. It was a preseason game, the Ravens versus the Jets in 2000. The Ravens came off the ball faster than any team I've ever seen. The defense I'm talking about, faster than any team I've ever seen in my entire life to this day. When the Raiders get to that point, I'll say they're ready. They're not there. But the defense is good enough to win games for them. And that wasn't, consistently. And that wasn't the case last year. Yeah, 9-7. That's my prediction. I'm sticking to it.